I still remember the way my hands trembled when I picked out my dress for that night. It was a soft blush pink, simple but elegant, the kind of dress that made me feel beautiful, even if it wasn't designer. My name is Sophia, and for 2 beautiful years, I thought I had found the love of my life. His name was Ryan. Tall, charming, with that confident smile that made my heart skip every single time. We met at a coffee shop downtown. He spilled his latte on my notes, and instead of getting annoyed, we ended up talking for 3 hours. From that moment, it felt like fate. We built something real: late night drives, weekend getaways, and whispered promises about our future. 6 months ago, Ryan got down on one knee in our favorite park at sunset. The ring sparkled under the golden light as he said, "Sophia, you're my everything. Will you marry me?" Tears filled my eyes as I whispered yes. Our engagement felt like a dream. We started planning a small, intimate wedding, nothing extravagant, just us surrounded by the people who mattered. I poured my heart into every detail because I believed in us. But Ryan came from a very different world. His family had money, old money mixed with new success. His parents lived in a sprawling house with marble floors and chandeliers that probably cost more than my entire apartment. His circle of friends and extended family moved in elite social circles. I was a graphic designer who worked hard for every paycheck. I never hid that. Ryan always told me it didn't matter. Until the night of the big engagement celebration his parents insisted on throwing. It wasn't our small gathering, it was their event at their country club with over 100 guests from their world. The afternoon before the party, Ryan pulled me aside while I was getting ready. He looked me up and down in my blush pink dress and frowned slightly. "Sophia, please try not to embarrass me tonight," he said quietly. "These people, my fiance's family side, the ones who really matter, they're way above your level. Just smile, nod, and let me do most of the talking, okay?" His words landed like a quiet punch to my chest. Fiance's family? We were engaged. I was his fiancé. But the way he said it, it felt like I was an outsider he was dragging along. I forced a smile and nodded, telling myself he was just nervous, that he didn't mean it the way it sounded. But deep down, something shifted that afternoon. A tiny crack in the perfect picture I had painted of us. Little did I know, that crack was about to become a fracture that would change everything. The country club ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers and fresh flowers. Laughter and clinking glasses filled the air as we walked in. Ryan's hand rested on my lower back, but it felt more like guidance than affection. His mother greeted us first, her smile polite but distant. "Oh, Sophia, you look sweet," she said, her eyes flicking over my dress. I thanked her anyway. Then came the introductions. Ryan steered me toward groups of sharply dressed guests. Every time someone asked about my job or my background, he'd jump in quickly. "Sophia works in design," he'd say with a tight smile, as if that was all there was to know. I tried to join conversations, sharing a funny story about a recent project, but Ryan would gently squeeze my arm and change the subject. "Let's not bore them with that," he said once. The humiliation built slowly, like a wave I couldn't outrun. I overheard his cousin say to another guest, "Ryan's fiancé is different, not exactly from our circle." They laughed softly. Ryan was standing right there and didn't correct them. Instead, he chuckled along. My heart started to ache. This was supposed to be our celebration, but I felt smaller with every passing minute. Later that evening, while Ryan was getting drinks, I stepped outside for some air. That's when I saw it. His phone had buzzed on the table earlier, and out of habit, I glanced at the screen. A message preview from Elena Kiss. Can't wait to see you after this boring party. Miss your touch already. My stomach dropped. Elena, his so-called old family friend who had been texting him more often lately. I had brushed it off before, but now the pieces clicked into place. The late nights at work events, the sudden distance, the way he sometimes pulled away when I tried to get close. I felt shattered, betrayed in the deepest way. The man I loved, the one who had promised me forever just months ago, was already looking elsewhere. And worse, he was ashamed of me in front of the very people he respected more than our relationship. I didn't cry. Not there. I slipped the phone back inside with a calm face. But inside, something broke, and something new began to form. A quiet strength. I realized I had been shrinking myself to fit into his world, while he was already stepping out of ours. That night, after the party, Ryan kissed my cheek and said, "You did good, babe. See, just stay quiet next time and it'll be fine." I smiled softly and said nothing, because I was no longer the girl who would shrink. I was planning something bigger. I stayed silent, gathering every piece of evidence: the messages, the hotel receipts, the photos from Elena's social media that showed them together at places he claimed he went alone. The pain was real. Nights I cried alone, questioning my worth. But with every tear, my resolve grew. I wasn't going to explode in anger. I was going to reveal the truth in the most elegant, devastating way possible. 2 weeks later, Ryan's family hosted another gathering, a more intimate dinner to finalize engagement details. I knew this was my moment. I arrived looking poised and confident, wearing the same blush pink dress, but this time with my head held high. Ryan greeted me with his usual charming smile, but I could see the nervousness in his eyes. He whispered again, "Remember what I said, don't embarrass me." I just smiled. Halfway through dinner, as conversations turned to our upcoming wedding and merging families, Ryan's mother made a comment about how lucky he was to find someone who understood her place. The subtle digs continued. That's when I stood up calmly, holding a small envelope. The room quieted. I looked directly at Ryan and said in a clear, steady voice that carried across the table, "You told me not to embarrass you because these people are way above your level. But the truth is, the only thing embarrassing here is you." I opened the envelope and passed printed screenshots around the table: the messages from Elena, the hotel receipts, the photos of them together at places he claimed he went alone. Gasps rippled through the room. Ryan's face went pale. "Sophia, what are you—" I continued, my voice calm but powerful. "I loved you with everything I had. I was ready to build a life with you. But you betrayed me, looked down on me, and treated me like I was beneath you. While you were ashamed of me in front of your circle, I was discovering who you really are behind closed doors." His mother's hand flew to her mouth. His father looked furious. Elena's name was mentioned in hushed, shocked tones. Ryan tried to speak, but his words stumbled. For the first time, it was he who looked small. I placed the engagement ring gently on the table in front of him. "I'm walking away from this with my dignity intact. You can keep your level. I've risen above it." The room was silent as I turned and left with my head high. No tears, no yelling, just quiet, elegant truth. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that the engagement was off. Ryan's reputation took a hit in his precious social circle. Elena distanced herself. His family distanced themselves, too. The man who once warned me not to embarrass him ended up embarrassing himself in front of everyone who mattered to him. As for me, I found peace. I threw myself back into my work, surrounded myself with real friends who valued me, and started dreaming new dreams, ones that didn't require me to shrink. The lesson I learned is this: never let anyone make you feel beneath them. Your worth isn't measured by their bank account, their status, or their approval. When someone shows you who they truly are, believe them the first time. And sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't loud, it's simply refusing to stay small and letting the truth speak for itself. I'm Sophia, and I'm finally free.